So that's one of them. Nope. So the other piece is the gumshoe. I'd like to have a look at this. Wasn't this one? There we go. I knew that. It's one with the handprint on it, right? Sheesh. Where's your sense of humor? Okay, Mr. Wright, let's check for print. Sprinkle on the cloth. I think I'm gonna take this one first. I gave my base shot. That result will be good enough for matching prints, does it? Doesn't look like we get a clear result from this print. Let's try a different finger. There we go. The plot thickens. No. How can this be? What are Emma's fingerprints doing here? Hey, you found a match? Whose fingerprints were they? Huh? Oh, it seems like the prints are too old. They clearly aren't good enough to get a match. Oh, that's too bad. I thought they'd be Dark's fingerprints. Psst. Hey, you, over here. What's going on here? What's a kid's prince doing inside the chief's safe? Don't ask me. Let's just keep this information from Emma for now. Here. Maybe you should hold of this. That desk on the other side of the room, was that your sister's? Yes, that's where I was waiting for Lana on that day 2 years ago. Is anyone using it now? No, sir. This is entirely Chief Gant's office now. He practices a strict policy of preserving the scene of the crime. That's a strange reason to leave it here. He leaves it as a warning to everyone else. He wants us to always be alert. He told us so himself at our New Year's party. Of course, he was pretty intoxicated at the time. I see. So, ever since Lana left, no one has touched that desk? No one except Chief Gant. And the cleaning lady who's in here each morning. Still, 2 years have passed since that incident. There can't be possibly any clues remaining. This was Lana's desk. It sure is tidy. Lana's always been a meticulous cleaner. There's not even any dust on it. Looks like someone still's cleaning it clean. Does Lana ever come back here? No. Chief Gant must have kept it clean in memory of their partnership. They were stuff legends made of. Does he keep it in memory of her or in the memory of the crime? These shelves are mostly empty. Lana must have cleaned them when she transferred over to the police. There's a small picture frame on the left shelf. Hey! This is when Lana and I went to the theme park. Look at that giant window. It makes you want to crash through it and jump outside. This is the 15th floor. I know, I was just saying. Saying what? Ever since making a detective, I've always dreamt about doing something like that. Note to self, Detective Gumshoe has a lot of dreams. So long as he doesn't go crashing through that window. And when he gets fired, don't say that. Wow, look at the size of Chief Gun's desk. Speaking of that, when we were here earlier... Oh, it's you two. I've already gone through this. I wonder what he was reading. This looks like a list of evidence. A list of evidence? In most cases, the list ran twice as long as this though. Hey, look at the name, case name. Huh? SL9 incident. I wonder what this is doing here. Hold on, detective. Just what did you say? I said, I wonder what... No, about that evidence list. Normally they're twice as long. That's right. I guess there weren't a whole lot of evidence. A half-list list of evidence. What would the other half of the list be doing here? I knew it! The chief must have been hiding something about that case. It appears so. Okay. You can see pretty far from 15 stories up. If you were... At first, the chief wanted to use stained glass for this window. Really? Why didn't he? They say he changed his mind because he wouldn't be able to see the view. Oh, stained glass or not, it's a huge window. I think that's all we can find here, except for like the organ, but let's just investigate it. Chief's organ is a sight to behold. Occasionally we can hear him playing it from the criminal's appearance department. That's on the 2nd floor, and this is the 15th floor of an entirely different building. When the detective screws up, the chief calls him to his office, and then makes him listen to the organ for hours. What's so bad about that? Music soothes the soul. After that, the detective can't hear anything for days except for the ringing in their ears. So it's an instrument of punishment, literally. But are the chief's ears affected? He never listens to anyone anyway. That's beside the point. I think that's all we can get here. Of course there's this one as well. This was taken on that day 2 years ago. The Joe Dark, that thing. After receiving his award trophy, Mr. Marshall took a picture here. Then went along with Chief Gunn to question Dark. I bet he never knew he'd be dead just a few hours later. Gee, you think? There's one more piece of evidence I need though. And it's like, where is it? Where is the last piece of evidence? Maybe it's coming later. Actually, I have to talk to... Oh yes, I have to talk to him. Can I ask you something? Sure. You only came here to look around, right? Because it's one of the SL9 crime scenes. I mean, that's your only reason for coming here, right? Why do you ask? You don't think... Nah, you wouldn't be. No. No, there's no way. Never mind. Don't worry about it. Okay. Now then, let's look around a little bit more. Hey, hold on. Not so fast, buddy. Huh? What is it? When someone tells you not to worry, don't worry about it. It's supposed to start bothering you, pal. You don't just let go at it like that. Let go like that. Sorry. This guy's starting to get on my nerves. Okay, what's bothering you? You two don't think Chief Gant might be a suspect to you? What? He's right, Mr. Wright. What do we think of him? Chief Gant. So it's finally come to this. What do I think of him? Perhaps it's best if I don't divulge my feelings yet. There we go. Ignore me again. Well, was I of any help? Of course! Thanks to your ID card, we were able to get some hard evidence. Now, that's not very kind, is it? In other words, if it weren't for his ID card, he would have been useless. Isn't that right, you in the coat? Ah! Chief Gant! We didn't think you'd be back so soon. Fortunately, I'm a man who believes in science. As I was walking to my meeting, I happened to look out the window. I saw a stray dog run straight into a pole. Just then, I thought I was a certain detective. Do you mean me, sir? Now then, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to ask you all to leave. Yes, sir. Sorry. You, in the coat? Me, sir? Drop your ID card on the way out? You won't be needing it anymore. But, sir... Now, get out. Yes, sir. We'll be on our way too then. Wait. You there without the spiky hair. Don't go yet. Me, sir? I'd like a word with you. But sir, I'm not a licensed scientific investigator yet. You, with the spiky hair, you're free to go. Mr. Wright! Look, pal. If I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. The chief's office is off limits. But no, you just had to go sneaking in there like that, didn't you? I thought you said you didn't care anymore if you get fired. Yeah, but if I knew it'd be like this, I'd never have said it. Now that I've seen the evidence that Chief Gunn was hiding in his office, I think I'm finally starting to get the picture. But why has she kept silent about it all this time? Anyway, you listening to me, pal? I'm gonna try and smooth things over with the chief again. Later, pal. I am so late with everything. I need to multitask like crazy to get everything done before I go to bed in like 40 minutes. After that, I heard from Emma. She said the police wanted to ask her some questions, so she'll be busy for the rest of the day. I see. So, the chief asked Emma to come in for questioning. It's no use thinking about it. Tomorrow's the final day in court. I'm committing to doing everything I can to defend you, which is why I'm here. But I've only told you all I can. What you told me is over these past couple of days is absolutely nothing. Not a single useful thing. Really? I believe I did mention something quite important. Something I told you right at the beginning. Jag vet. I said I was the one who stabbed Detective Goodman. You know, I think I finally figured it out. I know who it is that's lurking behind your words. May did a good job mentoring you. I'm rather jealous. It seems Edgeworth was right. Edgeworth? Once you're convinced you know something, no one can persuade you otherwise. Thick-headed is the term he used, I believe. Not much chance to get her to tell me the rest of the story. It translates to I know. She is like complaining about the time, which I know. I just mentioned it, but she was busy playing Fire Emblem. I have to admit, I was more than a little perplexed at first. You insisted you did it, yet there was no incriminating evidence. That's when it hits me. It's not that you're unwilling to tell the truth. It is that you're incapable of doing so because of a certain individual. What an intriguing notion. A certain individual, you say? So you think I'm protecting this person? Protecting? No, I think afraid of is more like it. If I'm not mistaken, the person in question may have persuaded you to silence. For argument's sake, Mr. Wright, Whom, may I ask, is this person you're speaking of? The one I'm supposedly so frightened of? What's this person's name? Well, Miss Sky? Mr. Wright, you are addressing the chief prosecutor. Do not forget your place. I take it she's not ready to spill the beans. My apologies. Could you please tell me a bit more about what you think you know? We were partners until 2 years ago. I respected him as a detective. Assuming he is respectable, then tell me something. Why would he try to hide his crimes? His crimes? Both you and Edgeworth will be brought before a board of inquiry for what you did. Specifically, hiding and forging evidence. Of course, these are serious offenses. Why is it, though, that the Chief Gaunt's name was never mentioned? Chief Gaunt? Edgeworth didn't know the truth behind the forgery. The only party who could have possibly tampered with the evidence was me. I had access because I was second in command of that investigation. Yes, you, but also one other, Damon Gaunt. If you intend to accuse Chief Gaunt, you need to do more than just words. Show me proof that Chief Gaunt falsified evidence in that case. I just found this in a safe in the chief's office. This jar piece and this piece of cloth. Do you know what these are? They're pieces of evidence from the SL9 incident. The person concealing evidence was none other than Chief Gaunt himself. Now tell me, why are you taking the blame for him? Touché, Mr. Wright. It is as you surmised. I cannot disobey the orders of the chief. Even if it means being found guilty of murder. Why not? Come now, Mr. Wright. You cannot possibly expect me to tell you that. 3 days ago, I had no choice but to cooperate. In the murder of Detective Goodman. Or perhaps I should say, follow orders. Yes, that's more accurate than cooperate. Although I can't tell you the details, I can say that I was given an order that day. I need you to dispose of Bruce Goodman's body. You'll find it inside the trunk of Miles Edgeworth's car. Just as I suspected. Despite what everyone believes, you were not the one who murdered Detective Goodman. Correct. I was trying to take the body out of Mr. Edgeworth's car. The trunk lock was broken, and I discovered the murder weapon while inspecting the body. The murder weapon? You mean Edgeworth's knife? No. When I found the body, this knife was stuck in it. The knife from the SL9 incident. Serial killer Joe Dark's knife. I just couldn't leave that knife in him. So I took it out and stabbed him with another knife. That would be Edgeworth's knife. That's right. Even though he was already dead, my hands were shaking at the thought of stabbing him. That's why I ended up cutting my hand. And that is the reason for the bandage on your right hand. Yes, it seems I got blood on the victim's shoes as well. And then she saw me just as I plunged the knife in. The star, huh? Why did you need to hide Drake's knife so badly? Drake, it took a lot of work to finally close Dark's case 2 years ago. It was over with. I didn't ever want it to be opened again. My intent was to prevent that by whatever means possible. How so, Pix? So, you hit Dark's knife. The weapon used to stab the detective was evidence in the Joe Dark case. If word got out, which it would, the reporters would have a field day with that. fair. So you wrapped the knife in your scarf and hid it in Edgeworth exhaust pipe. Right. Then I called my sister to tell her what happened and to ask her to hide the knife that was inside my muffler. You asked Emma? I didn't want anyone on the force to know about this. That would explain why Emma is so confident. What Lana's innocent. Speaking of phone calls, I had a bad feeling about one of them that day. A bad feeling? The truth is, after I received all these orders from Chief Gant, the first thing I did was make a phone call. A phone call to Patrolman Jake Marshall. To Marshall? Why on earth would he call him? The lead investigator for the SL9 incident had been murdered. I wanted that fact to be kept hidden and I needed help. He was the only other person I could trust. Or at least I thought I could trust him at the time. However, it seems that after I spoke to him, he went off on an escapade of his own. Oh, you mean, not wanting the case to die, he decided to take things into his own hands. He disguised himself as Detective Goodman and tried to steal the evidence. He had already stolen the ID card, but it seems that he hadn't made up his mind to break into the evidence room. After my phone call, any remaining doubts he must have had disappeared. So your phone call caused an incident in the evidence room. I'm afraid that is all I can tell you. But Lana, you've earned my respect, Mr. Wright, both as an defense attorney and an investigator. Now, please, don't pursue this any further in court tomorrow. Tomorrow's trial, there's only one way to drive off Lana's demons. I gotta get to the bottom of everything. Detective Goodman's real murderer. And what went down in the chief's office 2 years ago? Oh, that took longer than I thought it would be, but we're done now for today. That's 30 minutes late. Ugh. Yes, we will save. So, next time, that is to say Wednesday, we will finish this trial. Oh, come on. And, come on. I don't think I'll be doing the regular outro with music. Because, like I have some things I have to do before I go to bed. Come on now, Fernwell. I'm trying to be like somewhat conscious about my daily rhythm. And yes, I know, 30 minutes off. I mean, I want to get up. I mean, I started getting up 1 hour earlier in the morning, which means like 6:30. I'm not used to that at all, so it's taking a bit of work to actually do it. So there's that. But it does mean that I'm off work earlier. That being said, though, I have an event at a golf hall on Wednesday with work because we're testing some things. And I have no idea when we're done with that, but hopefully I'll be done with work on schedule, so I can actually be home and do things. So yes, that is everything. So yes, we're continuing everything on Wednesday and finishing this case. You're in for a treat when we go after Gant. This part with Gant is so good and so well written. So look forward to that. And once that is done, we will only have time to finish that case. So of course this means that if we have some time left, we will go to do some Minecraft and we'll start on Justice for All next week. I would say that Gant is more satisfying to nail to the wall than Karma, personally. because just the way we have built up Detective, like Chief of Police Gaunt, like how he's like built this entire thing, the scheme is so much more sinister than Karma's scheme was with Edgeworth. I can tell you that. So you have something to look forward to, and just tearing it all down is so satisfying. So of the two, I would say that yeah, like Farewell says, Connor was a dick from the beginning. He was very straight about it. He hates your guts. He has no he's not putting up anything. He's just, I'm gonna do everything to get your defendant declared guilty. Meanwhile, Gaunt is like hiding behind a mask and putting up like these plots and stuff. It is just so much more sinister how this all unfurls. So look forward to that. It is so satisfying. But that is the end of tonight. I need to do some checking because apparently stupid thing. Okay, so I recently did a change on my microphone earlier and my sound settings are off, it seems, but I'm gonna have to fix that later. So that is it for tonight. I hope you will all have a good evening or a good morning or whichever is appropriate for you. Now though, I'm gonna go to bed. Well, do the rituals and then go to bed. So until Wednesday, I'll see you all on Discords, the various Discord channels, or Facebook, or wherever I have you guys on contact. Until then, good night, and look forward to everything. Bye.